Back in the day, it was pretty common for people to be in a never-ending debate over which console is the best. The later most notorious competitors were PlayStation versus Xbox, or rather PlayStation fans versus Xbox fans. While competition obviously exists between these two products, it's the fanbase and community that's actually the ones at war. Competition exists in every market, even in the older era of gaming. The rise of Nintendo was the death of Sega consoles. And even now there is questions over whether or not Microsoft will keep developing Xbox consoles, since in all truth they don't actually need to. The Xbox sales never perform as well as its competitors, nor does it feature as many exclusives. But this isn't much of an issue since PC gaming exists and Microsoft is a big part of that space. The most shocking thing that's happened over the years is the move Sony's made to release what used to be PlayStation exclusives on PC as well, just at a later time. And although Sony is a greedy company themselves, releasing the PS5 at a whopping $700, the conclusion can still be drawn that even they aren't against another platform having access to their games, which is not something I'm against for the future. I'm always all for everyone having access to games without having to buy a whole new console just to play one game they want to play. Take Bloodborne for example. Sony just seems to have forgotten about Bloodborne, no matter how many people are constantly begging for them to do something with it. If you wanted to play Bloodborne now, you would have to have a PlayStation and you would have to play the PS4 version of it. With all that's been announced for the PS and the Nintendo Switch being at its end days before the Switch 2 or the next Nintendo console releases, even Miyamoto said himself that Nintendo is not part of the game wars, which is something I've always said. Think about it. People have always spoken about Xbox and PlayStation, and the loud few fans have always debated and dissed each opposing console. But Nintendo was always left out of the conversation, yet the Switch remained a successful console. Why is that? Because Nintendo offers something those other consoles don't have. Where Nintendo lacks in performance and current gen graphics, they make up for in countless creative, fun and entertaining games, where the main focus for the most part is gameplay. Now, I'm not saying Nintendo doesn't have their own faults. I can name a lot of them. But as a console, Nintendo has always been there, even if they were never mentioned in the competition. Nintendo remains the only console whose exclusives are exclusives, for better or worse. And I don't have a problem with that given how many exclusives that is. What I do have a problem with is their entitlement with their lawsuits. But listen to me ramble on. I could go on and on about how the console wars don't exist anymore, and to just buy whatever you want and play whatever you want, because at the end of the day, having fun with games is what matters. And PC alone has most of them. I could go on and on about how I love every console I've ever played, and I love PC, but I'll still have those one or two people down in the comments, if this video gets any views, telling me why PlayStation or Xbox is the best console ever and everything else just sucks. You know what I hate most about these people? Is how smug they always act. Don't get me wrong, I hate PC master race people just as much. I'm not saying that PC doesn't have obvious advantages over console, because that's like me saying, well, we breathe air. But man, how many times have you seen PC-only players on comments on social media saying how consoles suck because it's limited to 40 FPS and brag about PCs? Half of those people probably don't even have PCs that can run the most modern games at 40 FPS at highest graphics. But they won't tell you that. And let's be honest, have you ever seen any of them list their specs? No. That's the difference between a PC and a console. People who don't care will buy a console and will get the same performance as everyone else who buys the same console. That's not the case for PC. There are a lot of variables and a lot of price differences. And in my opinion, for the average gamer that wants a console to game and nothing more than that, the lighter price is pretty compelling. Not including the PS5 Pro in this discussion. Plus, for most story-based games, especially for the type of games that are console exclusives, 40 FPS really doesn't matter, even if it is pretty low, especially in slower paced games. So yeah, console gaming is dead, and to everyone who still goes on videos and social media and talk about how one console is better than the other, or disses any platform for that matter, let me just tell you something very clearly. You're just cringe. That's it. That's all there is to it. No one's patting you on the back there. Everyone just thinks you're cringe. You're living in the olden age. You're living in a time that doesn't exist anymore, fighting a battle that no one's partaking in anymore. So yeah, don't be one of those people. Don't diss other platforms that other people game on just because you have your preference. If you want to attack anyone, attack greedy companies who do things wrong. Attack Sony for leaving Bloodborne behind in the dust. Attack Nintendo for suing literally everybody. And most importantly, attack yourself if you ever made a comment about how one thing is better than the other. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.